Shannon Sharpe is one of the best examples of why I hate black leaders. Can't stand 99.9% of them. There's one of my favorite people that goes by the name of Neely Fuller Jr. that says, we don't have leaders, we have spokesmen. And anybody can be a spokesman. Shannon Sharpe, extremely talented guy, very, very gifted athlete, terrific podcaster, threw a fit because people in the WNBA, black girls in the WNBA, keep checking Clarke. And let's be honest, a whole lot of black people outside of the WNBA that watch the WNBA are hoping that Clarke fails. Yeah, you are. Don't lie about it. Meanwhile, you have a whole lot of mainstream Iowa-ish type European Americans that feel like, yeah, we got one. So you know what happens when you have a mob of F her, we hope she sucks, when they know dang well she doesn't, that she's an extremely good player, but they're sitting there hating on her. Yeah, be honest, they hating on her because they're not hating on Clarke herself. Most of them are really just hating on the people that are supporting Clarke because the fan base that supports Clarke are hating on them all the time. So we're kind of tied up in that. But out comes the black spokesman, or should I say the black leader. Now, the black leader is the one that wants to get out there and tell everybody else what they need to do and what they need to say and what they need to bring and pretty much act right. Act right, act right. Let's let this system play itself out. Now, there's a very good book, the name of which I cannot remember, but it was about basically cinema in black cinema from, the 1915 time, when the book, the movie Birth of a Nation came out, all the way till when this book came out, which was like the early 1980s, late 1970s. They talked about two characteristics in early black cinema called the coon and the tom. And there's a difference, even though you hear it now on YouTube where everybody's calling everybody that. But there's a distinct difference, at least as it applies to the caricatures used against black people in the cinema. A Tom is somebody that believes in the system. He's upright. He's very, 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 very polite, cordial, and can come across very sophisticated, but at the end of the day, very supportive of the system itself. Now, what, on the other hand, is a coon? A coon is a buffoon. That's why you get the phrase, if you've never heard it, cooning and buffooning. Then, of course, you have the roles that they both represent and how they can kind of, depending on the time, people can do both. Now, what's the key similarity? Dedication to the system, dedication to the people to whom you owe your substance, to whom you owe your leadership status. And who is that? That are the people that are paying you and the people with the money. And in that case, it's the massa. So, but not saying that I'm calling Shannon Sharpe that. I am not. But I am saying that there is a distinct taint of that in this, where you get up and you feel like you need to lecture people for what they believe and what their emotions are and what their reactions are. OK, if you're not going to react to both, don't react to either. That's my point of view. So if you're not willing to get just as hot at people for talking, and I'm not saying Shannon Sharpe did this. If you're not going to be just as mad when people say things about the WNBA and the women looking like men and acting like men and being unattractive and the game is all of that. If you're not going to get on people that don't support them and be active about that, hey man, the other side of it, I mean, I think you need to take that as it comes. The fact of the matter is that in the United States and in basketball for sure, and definitely going to be in the WNBA, which is a growing league. You know, the NBA took a long time before the NBA got to be the NBA of today. The WNBA started in my lifetime, I do believe maybe in the late 1990s. Sometime, I forget how long it's been around, but, you know, pretty much from the time of Cynthia Cooper, and when Cynthia Cooper was really balling, it's come a long way. And Caitlin Clarke is, to an extent, kind of like the Larry Birdish type of basketball player. She comes into a black dominated league. She also has a boyfriend, and that seems to be in the minority in the WNBA as well. Don't know if that has anything comes into play or whatever, but she's also, and this is something that Willie D said, she's also a rookie. And in the culture of most situations, look, man, everybody was the star at one point in time. Everybody comes in the league, maybe not to the extent that she did with, you know, hoopla behind her. So when this particular thing takes place with Skylar Diggins, who was at Notre Dame, was also a big star coming out of Notre Dame going into the WNBA, because she was also very unique in that, hey, she's very, very easy on the eyes, but she had a big following and all of that stuff. So she knows what it is to to come into the league and how the league goes. And you had Caitlin Clarke out there doing this to the crowd. Then the portion that I see, other people said there were things that contributed to it leading into that. But she waves at the crowd, pumping the crowd up, you know, while this team is losing. And Skylar Diggins bumps her like, hey, slow your ass down. But look, that's just what's supposed to happen. Now, people cutting Caitlin Clarke a break, that's the thing that I didn't get, is like, let her cook. I mean, maybe I need to listen to it more carefully, but let it cook. Does that mean you're supposed to just let her play and do whatever she wants to do? Not have her play under the same rules that everybody else needs to play? If she's talking about the bump and all of that, that happens with everybody. Now, if you're talking about the backlash, then the answer is, hey, how about you treat Skylar Diggins like you treat everybody else? And the first young lady that fouled Caitlin Clarke very hard, how about you treat her like you treat everybody else that does what she does, which is say something about it when it happens and keep it pushing, and it's almost never a tremendously big deal. But Shannon Sharpe, again, the thing that I don't like I just don't like the over lecturing on things like this. You feel how you feel, but he seemed to be a little too defensive, just a wee bit too defensive of Caitlin Clarke in that situation, even though it seems to me that the person that really has the most backlash is the person that touched her. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.